Alrighty, replay analysis for Destroyer69. Platinum 2, very standard replay. They are just looking for any tips on what they're doing wrong. All good. So, should be nice and easy. Let's go. Okay, good start on that kickoff there. Main thing I do notice at the start is that I do have a pretty close camera setting. You do you and all that. But I would recommend being a bit further out, like your teammate, just for the purpose of being able to see the field properly. Like, you don't need to be way out, but this looks like you're like 90 FOV, or under 100 at the very least. So, I would be a bit worried about how close you are and being able to see the field properly. But, anyway, moving on. You do collect the ball, but you do hit it away. This is not very good. So, definitely want to be keeping control here. There's no one challenging you at the moment. Closest person is your own teammate all the way on the other side of the field. So, yeah, throwing it away like that, definitely not recommended. To say the least. And as a result, you're not able to get there in time, so just throw it straight to the opposition. They almost scored, but yeah, they'll rotate back. Sailor's alright, but you would have been better off just hitting this towards the wall, just being a bit safer. Trying to use your double jump instead of your flip. So you just hit it straight back for the opponents instead of trying to take control of it again. So yeah, you definitely just need to be being a bit smarter with where you place the ball. That wasn't the greatest shot either. I would almost attribute this halfway to the camera because you're coming in low and it's right in your face, so you can't really get a good view of what's going on to begin with. But doesn't make it much better by how late you go and therefore having to hit it like this. And it just makes for a bit of a bad showing. Yeah, go for this way too late. So yeah, what you need to be doing there is just jumping into early, seeing that it's going to spike down and going up early instead of late like you did. Just gotta have a bit better reaction time. It's definitely not advisable to turn your ball cam off just as one of your teammates makes a shot. Like, you want to be tracking what your teammate is doing. And you doubtlessly would have gone all the way back, leaving your teammate all alone, so that wasn't very good either, but your teammate finished it off, so not the greatest start, but still a goal. Kickoff wasn't great. You got plain beaten because you refused to use your boost at all. Like, you use your boost, well, first of all, you take a long time just to get moving. Like, you take a good half a second just to get moving. And by that point, like, your opponent is already halfway there. And by the time you're halfway there, your opponent's already come onto the ball, and yeah, you just get beaten. So, you need to be a lot more reactive. That's what's going on. I don't know what it is with people and AFKing in this match, but it's just stupid. You have no ping excuse, so. Yeah, wasn't very good. What you should have just smacked it straight to the corner. Merit that you got an opportunity there, not trying to slow it down like you did and hitting it straight for an opponent. If they had any competence at all, they would have just shot that straight on goal, and that's an easy goal for them. Again, just a product of a low FOV. You can't really see what's going on here. Like you're kind of just getting yourself lost now. 3 people go for the ball, barely get it out, and you waste all your boost there. Yeah, here you've collected 100, but then you spend 50 of it just to get yourself turned around, and then you don't even hit the ball anyway. Okay, 10 boosts of that was actually useful. Going for that again. Like, there should be some communication between you two, at the very least. Like, even if the Mad King, if you don't have any comms, look, this is just another product of this FOV. Like, because of it, you can't clearly see where Mad King is, or where he's going for until the last second. Like, you should just be... You should definitely, one of the first things you do is put out the distance to at least 100, like FOV to at least 100. Like, I'll probably check your camera settings at the end of this match because it'll be saved in the replay. But, you know, just having that self-awareness is paramount. You do get a nice clear out at least for your teammate. And it's almost a goal. Not quite though. Yeah, main problem there is that you have gone up the wall and you've committed to the wall hit. So when it does bounce off and doesn't go up the wall, you're caught out. Best thing to do here is just to just to wait it out. Wait down on the ground until you're certain it'll go up the wall, because you're not going to get banned by this if it goes up the wall. So just making the right decision, taking your time with it. And that's almost a goal, but I don't know really why you've gone this way. Like, you should be waiting goal at the moment, not creeping up here when you plainly don't even have an intention to go for it. Right then. And then you completely miss the boost. Like, and as a result it's a goal. Like, just got yourself lost again, didn't stay in goal. Got caught out by your crappy camera settings. Yeah, that's the end of that. Alright, kick off. Pretty standard, just getting boost. Again, like, you just take a bit too long to react. Like, you do get the hit in the end, but you put out of position of going to put that anywhere on target. That would have probably gone in, because he went on in a position to save that. But they do make a weak shot and you get a good clear, so. No, it's a lot smarter when it's center like that. That was someone in goal, so actually we'll have a look. Nah, Mad King was in a position they would probably have saved it, so it was a good pass over. But, well, probably could have improved it actually. Made a bit more of a fast hit. Like, again, I'd say this is almost a product of the camera settings and your inaccuracy. Like your lack of car control more to the point, because you kind of just spike it down. It's pretty slow and looping over, so they get a save. Almost a goal, but yeah, a bit too late. Again, just neglecting to use your double jump. You'd be far better off saving your boost and using a double jump than trying to flip into it. Like, I think there's definitely a weakness. You kind of just use too much of your too much boost because you want to get that flip so much. You don't always need a flip, and sometimes it does even help for power, relatively. But they do own goal it because partners are stupid like that. That's fortunate. Definitely our kickoff, what you want to do is use a flip on the first boost there. That means you can save boost instead of using it all up, and to not even get much speed. Like, using a first flip means you can get to close to supersonic, if not supersonic, on the second flip. That means a lot more power behind the ball, and it means a lot better chance of winning the kickoff. This is another big issue, turning off your ball cam the whole time here. Like, you have no idea what's going on at the moment. Like, you're completely blind. All you're looking at is the boost. Like, that's all you're aware of at that point. So for a good 5 seconds, you may as well be blind. it's that bad. Like, your camera settings don't make it much better to begin with, but when you have such a lack of awareness in that situation, if that gets cleared out, then you have no chance of saving it, because you're completely out of position and you have no idea what's going on. Yeah, you do tap it over, but it isn't that good. So what you should be doing is trying to clear it into your corner so that you can follow this up instead of hitting it into center for them to just collect and take a shot of their own at it. Again, just making those better defensive decisions. Yeah, jumping up way too early, that's an easy thing to pick out. You jump up way too early, you have 0 speed, and as a result, you're completely with it. And that's a yikes. Just basic skill error, you get spooked by Mad King and then you just hit it away from you. Not much to be said about that. Yeah. So, main problem, once again, you get yourself lost in your goal, like you should be. You creep out way too far. So what you should be doing is rotating back to goal instead of stopping yourself here, getting completely beaten out, taking way too long to get back, and then that's it. Alright. That's okay. Main thing I would say to improve on is try to get a bit into the middle of the ball so it kind of doesn't go this high. Because as a result, no one could get this pass off. Like, it just kind of floats in the air again. Just being a bit too eager to get that flip. Like, if you hadn't have flipped and instead double jumped, you would have gotten more power out of this. Like, don't be so insistent on using a flip all the time. Like, it doesn't always work. If you can't get solid into the middle of the ball for flip, it's completely useless. Because you're just wasting time and boost to use it. Again, just kind of get spooked by someone else, flip the absolutely wrong way, but you still collect the boost, thankfully. And again, you're just way too close. You turn too early. There's 3 people in the corner. Like, if we look at the positioning of your team compared to their team, like, they're on offense at the moment, you're on defense. So, look, they're so much more spread out. They've got one person who's going to rotate around. They've got one person already back and waiting. And they've got one person who's going to attack this ball. At the moment, you've got 3 people attacking the ball on defense. Got 2 people going right at it, and you're just waiting directly behind them. What happens if it goes wrong for your team? You have no one in any part of the field here. You should be back here, waiting for any sort of intercept to occur. Not sitting right on your teammates' asses, waiting for them to do whatever. Like, simple as that, really. And as a result, you drive right under it. Also, your accuracy factoring in again. Just sitting in the same place, you get caught out, you almost ram your teammate in the process as well. Like, just a lack of awareness again. Like, this is not just your camera settings, it's just also your awareness in general. Just really screwed up. And that's a time when you could use your double jump. Like, you've got to get used to this, using a double jump on these so you can get these balls. Like, flipping isn't going to do in the end. And I knew this was going to catch you out eventually, this boosting here. Like, you're boosting halfway through your flip while you're still pointed upwards. As a result, you can't just float in the air, you waste too much boost. That happens. Because you're out of position, you have too much speed, too much for your own good. You need to make your flipping a lot more efficient. Using diagonal flips or just plain front flips and waiting to land before boosting. Like, you're trying to overdo it and it just screws you over. Yeah. This is something you should be hitting all day, really. You have 94 boosts and you should have been up there first. There's no reason, but again, you try to flip and it doesn't happen because you're way too low. Alright, so you rotate alright. Could have definitely been there first though, but your teammates do it for you. Yeah, main problem, this time it was good to flip, but you come in from the wrong side of the ball, and as a result, it just hits it straight into his back wall. But the team does score, so that's fortunate. But yeah, you definitely want to be trying to get better centers than that, just to make it a bit more convenient for your teammates. Trying to get it onto that backboard, or even taking the shot yourself, because you pretty much, there was only one defender, they probably weren't going to save it considering the rank. And yeah. Alright, not the greatest clear. But yeah, you just come in way too low again. That's the main problem there. Come in way too low because you've gone too late. As a result, it just kind of screws up. But thankfully, actually unthankfully, so I would say that's mainly a product of your clear there. It turns it into a mad scramble because you fail to get it sufficiently out. They get a center in, and this will almost certainly be a goal now. Yeah, and that is. So yeah. What should we say about that? 10 seconds left. Again, being very inefficient, your teammate being an idiot, and double committing. I hope someone called that kickoff, because otherwise that's pretty bad play. It's bad play to begin with, but yeah, you get caught out of position, but thankfully you do get enough of it, and 0 seconds. And that's overtime. That's it, guys. Yep. So I would say this is definitely your FOV catching you out again. Your lack of awareness and the ball looking like it's right on top of you from here. Because basically you can't see shit. You can't see who's doing what until the very last second, and yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. So, main problem is that you haven't gone for this to begin with. Like, you should be going for this, but because of your FOV, it looks like it's going to fly right over you from your perspective, probably. So you just leave it, and it flies right over your head this time, and now you're completely lost, and it's the end of the match. That's simple as that. So that was a pretty sketchy match overall. I think I'll just dive right into the stuff you need to improve on. Alright, so first of all, those flips, you got caught out eventually by them. They bit you in the arse. So, whatever you do not do this. Like, that is just so inefficient, it wastes so much boost and it takes you so long to get back if you do it absolutely wrong. Like, if I start boosting it, like, look at that. And I'll try and replicate what you're doing. You'll probably go on significantly slower, but well, you weren't actually even boosting when you started it. So you're like doing this and it was just taking so long. So what you want to be doing instead is doing this. So you want to be, you'll see when I'm doing that, is that I'm basically going supersonic from a stop. So, like, I probably only use about 25 boosts there. Like, if we were to turn off our boost. Like, we'll just start from a stop. So I only used about 50 boosts there, but that was pretty inefficient, to be honest. We'll try and be a bit more efficient to give it a better idea. Alright. There you go, 30 boosts, 2 flips, and half of the field, and you go supersonic. So it is really as simple as that. Like if you start off on a rolling start, then you probably need to use about 25 boost. But yeah, that's definitely one thing you need to be improving on is your boost efficiency, and you're just moving around the field better, like making use of more diagonal flips, side flips. One thing I think you definitely should learn, like, is at least like half flips like this. There's plenty of tutorials out there for them, but they're very useful. Just allows you to get back because you were compromised a lot, and you weren't able to get back as you kept on driving backwards. Actually, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to check your camera settings. So what were they? I'll just pull them up. Settings. Alrighty, so your FOV. Oh, it doesn't actually. That's worrying. It doesn't show. That's a rip. I was hoping they'd actually show, but no. Got a blank for you. Well, looks like you get away with that one without being able to show you the exact ones. But it was pretty plain that your distance and your FOV, you'll probably, I could easily guess you're 95 FOV or less, and that your distance was. So we'll try and see what you're doing. Wasn't quite like that. You're definitely closer to 90 or so. I'd say that's, apart from the angle, I'd say it's pretty accurate. Like, you're probably down here. Like, this is more like what you were doing here. Like, this is terrible. Like, you can't see shit. Like, if I use this, I would barely see half the field. But this is just not good. Like, sure, I can manage, but that's only because I know I have good enough field. Like, look at this, it's right in my face. I can't see anything if I try to dribble. It's just useless. So, yeah, you definitely need to improve that. Like, I have at 105, 270. I have a higher angle as well. But yeah, you definitely need to have a look at that into improving that. At least get it to 100 or so. Like, at least. That would be my recommendation. Because that way you can actually see some of the field. Like, because you're basically tunnel visioning a lot of the time. And I wouldn't completely attribute to that, but it definitely doesn't help you. Same deal with your distance, changing it up a little bit, like just making sure that you're not putting yourself at a massive disadvantage. There was another thing, it was your boost pickups. While I said they were okay, they're definitely, I saw you a lot of the time. You were kind of just driving here and then just turning yourself around. Like, while that's okay, main problem is that you're driving over this boost, so you're not turning in as tight as you could be. You're taking a bit too long to get back, so if kickoff does screw up, you don't really have any way to get yourself back. So, basically, what I like doing is just timing is, like, I've done this a lot more than you, so I wouldn't really expect you to be able to do this off pad early. Just turning as tight as I can, trying to ignore that side boost and just getting there as quickly as possible so I can turn around and save it. I can tell you this has saved my bacon more times than I could count. Just getting around as quickly as possible. Just so easy to practice. Now kickoffs, for you, like I said, just making use of the first flip on the kickoff. So, just practicing this. Like, you don't need to do a straight flip. You don't need to be anything complicated to begin with. Just learning a straight flip and use your boosts on that. And learning how to not, like, you can apply boosts on the second flip, but you don't really need to. Like, You can, you can't, you might. Like, but there, that way, you just make best use of your boost, and you don't need to waste it away. And then, once you've gotten better at that, you can start getting the diagonal flips and making use of them. Probably cover straight kickoffs in a moment, but so it just gets faster and faster, really. And well, if you can get really fancy, you can try wave dash kickoffs. So these can get you supersonic basically instantly if you get it right, like that. But though I wouldn't expect anyone to do this until later on, and then pretty difficult. Like even I can't really get super consistent sometimes. Like sometimes I can do them good, but sometimes I'll screw them up. You know, not perfect. Anyway, straighter kickoffs. Again, same print. These are a bit harder because you have to drive diagonally sometimes to get it. But just trying to, like these are pretty simple, but you'll only ever get these in 2s or 1s, I think. No, in 1s, so that doesn't matter. So for like 2s and 3s, you'll get this kickoff. And then you have to get yourself diagonal flip. So best way to do is just like a diagonal flip, and therefore you'll get yourself nice and easily over there. Another thing you need to practice is just I think this just comes with experience really, is just learning your space. Keep space with your teammates. Just I like to think of the field as cut into 6 parts. Just even 6 parts, and just trying to keep myself like a part of the field away from my teammates, so I'm not getting in their space and we're not all clustered up. Because as I pointed out earlier on, you're very clustered, your team. Like, and your opponents were all spread out, and they got you eventually just because of that. Like, you're all clustered together, chasing after the same ball, while your opponents are playing the smart game and actually staying split apart, ready to back each other up. I think another thing you do need to learn is your clears. You need to make them more efficient. So, let's see if this would be a good one. Nah, too complicated. I might put this one in a description if I can get a hold of it. So yeah, just learning, just being solid in it. It's like half volleys, getting that powerful. Simple as that, really. You just need to learn your power. Like, you're using your flips sometimes is good, but if you can't get the power, it's useless. Like this, just putting yourself wide and giving yourself a chance to get it out. Like, sometimes you're using a flip right, but well, you're using a flip, but it's just not the right timing. Like, just getting yourself that power, hitting it with your nose. These are pretty difficult, but, you know, that's why it's a solid pack, though. Yeah, definitely. I'll probably put this code in the description. You can have a look at that. But yeah, I would say it's pretty much it. If you need anything else, feel free to DM. Yeah, feel free to DM either me, and there's also the other coaches if I'm not around. They would be more than happy to help as well. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Oh well, I hope you liked it at the very least. Until then, goodbye.